Even though celebrities seem larger than life most of the time, they are still regular people who have to deal with health issues. Unfortunately, sometimes these health scares even ended their careers. Let's get into the top 10 celebrity health scares that ended their careers part 2. And at number 10, Emilia Clarke. Game of Thrones star Emilia Clarke recently revealed that she suffered from multiple brain aneurysms while she was filming Game of Thrones. And it was so bad at some points that she thought she was done acting for good. The only way she was able to get better was undergoing multiple life-saving surgeries during filming breaks. Clarke revealed the details in a piece she wrote for The New Yorker. Apparently, after she was done filming season 1 of the show, she suffered a brain hemorrhage while at a London gym, saying she felt like an elastic band was squeezing her brain. She then had surgery to fix this, but said afterwards that she was so mentally unwell she could barely remember her own name. Because of these aneurysms, she now suffers with permanent speech issues, which have affected her ability to work. And at number 9, Selena Gomez. Selena Gomez has been very vocal about her struggles with autoimmune disease, lupus. Lupus is an inflammatory disease that causes the immune system to attack its own healthy tissue. Her lupus got so bad in 2017 that she had to undergo a kidney transplant. She was given a kidney from her fellow actress and BFF Francia Raisa. When speaking about the transplant, Gomez said, quote, "Maybe I wasn't necessarily really good at knowing what that meant, so it actually got to a point where it was life or death. Thankfully, one of my best friends gave me her kidney, and it was the ultimate gift of life. I am now doing quite well." Lupus has slowed Selena down and she is not able to work at the pace she once did, but as of now she is happily working at a slowed pace.
She volunteered and did it, and let alone somebody wanting to volunteer, it is incredibly difficult to find a match. The fact that she was a match, I mean, that's unbelievable.
And at number 8, Cher. Cher has been open about her diagnosis of Epstein-Barr virus, which the singer contracted in the early 90s. This virus is a member of the herpes family and can physically affect people for weeks, although it stays in a person's system for life. Although it's never been officially confirmed, it's been rumored that the virus has taken such a toll on her health, it's affected her ability to perform. It was alleged that she had taken 3 years off from work because she was struggling with the illness, along with going to Germany for specialized treatment. It was even reported that she was close to death at some points, but these claims were never confirmed by Cher herself. As of now, there's no cure for the illness, but Cher manages it through various treatments, and she now works as much as her body can handle. And at number 7, Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods has had a lot of ups and downs in his career. After his cheating scandal, he took a long break to recover mentally and physically, and he managed to come out on top once again. However, in 2021, that progress came to a halt when Woods was involved in a life-threatening car accident that caused significant damage to his body. It was reported that Woods was driving way above the speed limit, 90 miles an hour, on a one-lane road. When a turn approached, Woods made no attempt to steer, and his car basically drove off a cliff. After the crash, Woods suffered significant damage to his right leg, according to ABC News. He underwent surgeries to save not only his life, but his limbs. Woods started his long recovery and has now started to play professionally again, however not at the level that he was before. And at number 6, Mark Ruffalo. Back in 2001, Ruffalo was at the height of his career, but that was put on hold when he discovered he had a brain tumor. He told New York Magazine in 2003 that one morning he woke up and just knew he had a tumor. After seeing a doctor, he was diagnosed with acoustic neuroma, which can cause some of the same symptoms as vertigo, which are dizziness, loss of balance, and lack of coordination. The crazy part is that Ruffalo did not have any of these symptoms. He just had a gut feeling. The tumor needed to be operated on immediately, but there was a 30% risk of facial paralysis. After Ruffalo decided to go forward with this surgery, the tumor was removed, but his face was left partially paralyzed, which of course had a huge impact on his acting career. After this, he went through a very dark period in his life and isolated himself from everyone. Thankfully, Ruffalo was able to make a full recovery and is now back working. Halfway number 5, Evan Handler. Actor Evan Handler, best known for his role in Sex and the City as Harry Goldenblatt, was diagnosed with cancer when he was only 24 years old. The cancer was acute leukemia, which starts in the bone marrow and then often quickly moves into the blood, spreading to other parts of the body. At the time he was diagnosed, Handler was not expected to live. Not only were the treatments physically taxing, it was emotionally exhausting. After a bone marrow transplant in 1988, he was miraculously able to recover. At the time of his diagnosis and transplant, his acting career had no choice but to take a back seat. But after he made it through, he came back to acting in 1991 and snagged his Sex and the City role years later. And at number 4, Courtney Love. Courtney Love struggled with severe anemia that significantly affected her ability to work. Love announced her diagnosis on March 14th of 2021 and revealed that she struggled with the disease for the last year. Anemia happens when you're lacking red blood cells needed to carry adequate oxygen to your body's tissues, and the illness can cause extreme fatigue fatigue, weakness, and chest pain. Love revealed her anemia left her bedridden and frail. At one point, she weighed as little as 97 pounds and was not certain if she would recover. She also shared how doctors at first did not believe her and most likely assumed that she was just exaggerating her pain levels to get painkillers. Now that she's recovered, she's working with a pain management specialist so she can get back to working full time. In at number 3, Lil Wayne. In 2013, Lil Wayne had a shocking health scare when he was found unconscious in his recording studio by a bodyguard. He was immediately rushed to the hospital where he was put in a medically induced coma because he was having uncontrollable seizures. At the time, TMZ reported that the rapper was in critical condition and resting. This incident came 6 months after Wayne was hospitalized for seizures while on a private jet, so it became clear that this was a very serious issue that needed to be resolved. Later in 2013, Wayne revealed that he was epileptic, saying, quote, "This isn't my first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, or seventh seizure. I've had a bunch of seizures, y'all just never heard about them. But this time was a lot more serious because he had 3 in a row, and after the third, his heart rate had significantly dropped. He was prescribed anti-seizure medication that had moderate success, but still struggles with them to this day." In at number 2, Lance Armstrong. Lance Armstrong was once hailed as the greatest cyclist in the world. That was until he was exposed as a cheater. In the height of his career, he was diagnosed with cancer, and after battling the life-threatening disease, he was able to return to greatness. When Armstrong won the 1999 Tour de France, it was a shocking victory, since 3 years earlier he had been diagnosed with metastatic testicular cancer. Armstrong was in a more critical condition than most people diagnosed because he decided to ignore early warning signs. By the time he was officially diagnosed, the cancer had spread to other parts of his body and his prognosis was looking very slim. Aggressive treatments caused his body to deteriorate and seemed to end his cycling career. But thankfully these treatments worked and he was able to recover enough to continue to compete professionally. Although his legacy was tarnished completely when it was later exposed that he had cheated and did not legitimately win his races. And finally at number 1, Kevin Smith. Actor and comedian Kevin Smith suffered a massive heart attack in 2018 while he was on tour. Smith told his fans about the terrifying incident the next day, saying that after one of his shows he was feeling nauseous, but vomiting didn't seem to help, and then he began, quote, "sweating buckets" and experiencing a heaviness in his chest. The next day he knew he needed to go to the hospital, and when he arrived they told him he had a 100% blockage of his left anterior artery, which is usually not survivable. His doctors even told him that if he had decided to perform that night instead of going to see them, he most likely would have died. The incident was even more traumatic for Smith as his father passed of a heart attack in 2003. After the scary experience, Smith vowed to make changes in his life, and years later he got healthy and even became a vegan to limit his risk. Alrighty guys, so that is all for the list today. Let me know your thoughts below and let me know anybody that I missed that could be in a part 3. I guess this is part 2, right? It's so crazy to think that, celebrities go through all this stuff and a lot of times they go through it silently. Like even Selena Gomez, a lot of these kind of like more invisible diseases, they have to go through this and they have to put their careers on pause sometimes. Really, really scary stuff. The Emilia Clarke thing is so scary. Leave me your thoughts below and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. I've been your host, Mackenzie Smith, and we'll catch you in the next one.